Beyond the silent gaze of the Egyptian pyramids lies an enigmatic past, beckoning those daring enough to delve into its secrets. Recent archaeological endeavors have unveiled a treasure trove of unusual discoveries. From mysterious tombs untouched for millennia to perplexing artifacts shrouded in mystique, the sands of Egypt conceal stories that challenge our understanding of history and leave even the most seasoned researchers trembling. Join us as we delve into the depths of Egypt's mysteries to uncover 20 discoveries that have left scientists utterly terrified. Number 20. Unveiling Giza's Hidden Corridors. The remarkable Great Pyramid of Giza still fascinates with its mysteries despite being over 4,500 years old. This pyramid keeps unveiling new secrets. In 2023, Egyptian officials revealed the discovery of a concealed corridor above the pyramid's entrance. This corridor, measuring 30 feet long, could lead to further exploration of the enigmatic inner chambers. Researchers have been using non-invasive scans on the pyramid since 2015, part of an international effort called Scan Pyramids. They use cosmic ray imaging and infrared thermography to map what lies behind the weathered stones of the exterior. In 2016, scientists using muon imaging detected signals of a hidden corridor behind the famous chevron blocks on the north face. The following year, they found a mysterious void in another area, possibly a hidden chamber. However, it was only in 2023 that they successfully mapped out the corridor for the first time. These scans have revealed various mysterious corridors, including the 30-foot passage positioned behind a chevron-shaped configuration of stones, close to where modern tourists enter. Yet, the exact purpose of this corridor remains a topic of debate among experts. The quest to unlock the secrets of the Great Pyramid of Giza, including any concealed chambers or rooms within its ancient structure, continues to inspire exploration and intrigue. Number 19. Egypt's Ethereal White Desert. The White Desert in Egypt is a unique national reserve nestled in the western part of the country, approximately 500 kilometers from Cairo, the capital city. This desert, a fragment of the vast Sahara Desert, covers an area of about 300 square kilometers and stretches along a 20-kilometer strip. It is intersected by a road connecting Al-Baria and Al-Farafra, marked by a dazzling hill known as the Crystal Mountain at its entrance. This desert is truly extraordinary and unlike any other place in the world. Many millions of years ago, it was the floor of an ancient ocean, and the white rocks scattered across the landscape are the remnants of marine microorganisms. Over time, wind and sand sculpted this former seabed into a terrain resembling the surface of another planet. The name White Desert originates from the chalk and limestone layer that blankets the landscape, giving it a striking white hue against the backdrop of yellow desert sands, particularly at night under the glow of a full moon. The desert resembles a snowy Arctic landscape with its snow-white expanse. Scientists have drawn parallels between the White Desert and the dry valleys of Antarctica due to their unique appearances. The most captivating vistas here can be witnessed at sunrise, sunset, or during the night when the landscape is bathed in ethereal light. Moreover, the White Desert boasts stunning rock formations, among which the most astonishing is the white rock precariously balanced on a slender column. These formations, entirely composed of limestone, have taken thousands of years to sculpt. Once towering mountain shapes, they have been gradually eroded by the relentless forces of wind and sand, defying the laws of physics by standing seemingly unsupported. Number 18. Ancient Egyptian Servant Traditions. In ancient times, social class held great significance, and although the social divide is still apparent today, it's not given the same importance as it was in ancient times. If the practices of ancient Egyptians were still followed, servants today would potentially be buried with their masters, or at least that's a practice that the Egyptians may have followed in the past. In ancient Egypt, the social elite, including pharaohs, desired to maintain their lifestyle and social status even after death. To achieve this, early dynastic pharaohs engaged in what's known as retainer sacrifices. This meant that servants, along with harem members, minor palace officials, and even animals like dogs, were slain so that they could accompany their masters into the afterlife. This practice was most prevalent during the First Dynasty, around 3100 BC to 2900 BC. It reflected the Egyptians' view of the afterlife as a continuation of earthly life, where social hierarchy and roles were maintained. However, this practice saw a significant change as Egyptian civilization evolved. By the time of the more famous pharaohs, human sacrifices had ceased. Instead, pharaohs were buried with ashabti or shawabti figures, small carved servants intended to work for the pharaoh in the afterlife. These figurines were designed to perform various tasks like tilling fields and baking bread, essentially serving as an ancient version of action figures surrounding the tomb and coffin. Interestingly, some of these shawabdi were carved with details indicating their specific roles in the afterlife, while regardless, it's still a pretty creepy practice. Number 17. Celestial jewelry from the skies. Recent research has revealed that an ancient Egyptian iron bead discovered inside a tomb dating back 5,000 years was crafted from a meteorite. This tube-shaped piece of jewelry was first unearthed in 1911 at the Gara Cemetery located about 40 kilometers south of Cairo, dating between 3350 BC and 3600 BC. These beads found at the burial site are among the earliest examples of iron use in ancient Egypt, predating Egypt's Iron Age by millennia. The cosmic origins of these beads were suspected from the outset. Soon after their discovery, researchers identified that the metal jewelry was notably rich in nickel, a telltale sign of iron meteorites. However, in the 1980s, scholars raised doubts about the celestial source of the beads, suggesting that the high nickel content could have resulted from smelting processes. Recently, scientists from the Open University and the University of Manchester conducted a detailed analysis of one of these beads using an electron microscope and an X-ray CT scanner. They confirmed that the bead's original metal, with its nickel-rich chemical composition, indeed came from a meteorite. The researchers also observed a distinctive Widmanstatin pattern in the bead's crystal structure, a hallmark feature found exclusively in meteorites that cooled slowly within asteroids during the formation of the solar system, as reported by Nature. Further investigations indicated that the bead was not shaped under heat but rather formed by cold working, likely hammered into its final form. This discovery sheds new light on ancient Egyptian craftsmanship and their early utilization of extraterrestrial metals in creating prized artifacts. Number 16. Mummified Nile Sentinels unearthed. In 2019, archaeologists at Kubad el-Hawa, a necropolis on the western bank of the Nile River, discovered unexpected mummies, a cache of mummified crocodile remains. Among the mummified remains were 5 heads and 5 more or less complete bodies, with most being over 2,500 years old. Researchers claimed that these mummies were naturally preserved. The remains of the animals naturally dried out, likely buried in sandpits before being moved to their final resting place in the tomb around the 5th century BC. These reptiles varied in size from 6 to 11.5 feet, showcasing 2 different species, the Nile crocodile and the West African crocodile. This variation underscores the diversity of life among the Nile River thousands of years ago. Now, mummies are very common, especially in ancient Egypt. However, these animal remains were preserved for a different purpose. They were preserved to be sacrificed to Sobuk, the crocodile-headed god in ancient Egyptian mythology. Sobuk is associated with water, fertility, and the power of the pharaohs. What's more, crocodiles were also highly revered in ancient Egypt, symbolizing both the dangers and the protections offered by the Nile River. By offering these mighty creatures to Sobuk, the Egyptians hoped to appease the god and secure his favor for the pharaohs and themselves. Number 15. Unearthing a forgotten queen's tomb. Czech archaeologists have uncovered the tomb of a previously unknown queen believed to have been the wife of Pharaoh Neferfra, who ruled over 4,500 years ago. Her tomb, designated KV-64, was discovered in 2010 by a team led by Dr. Zahi Hawass in the Valley of the Kings. Although smaller in size compared to other royal burials, the tomb yielded a rich collection of artifacts and inscriptions offering insights into Nefre's life and status. Among the findings were fragments of burial items such as pottery, Ashabti figurines, and jewelry, along with intricate hieroglyphic texts detailing her lineage and titles. Nefre is believed to have been associated with royalty, although her exact relationship within the royal family remains uncertain. Some scholars suggest she may have been the wife of Pharaoh Neferkare Kakai or Neferkare, while others propose she could have been the daughter or sister of a king. Despite the valuable information gathered from her tomb, many questions about Queen Nefre persist. Her reign, achievements, and ultimate destiny remain enigmatic, leaving historians to reconstruct fragments of her life from the scant historical evidence available. Nonetheless, the discovery of Queen Nefre's tomb represents a significant contribution to our understanding of ancient Egyptian royalty and the intricate rituals surrounding death and burial during the Old Kingdom period. As further investigations and analyses unfold, it is hoped that Nefre's legacy will be illuminated, casting new light on this intriguing figure from Egypt's distant past. Number 14. Egypt's golden god of fun. In a remarkable archaeological discovery that rivals the excitement of any treasure hunt, Egypt has unveiled stunning gold jewelry dating back over 3,300 years. This treasure trove was unearthed at a burial site within the ancient city of Akhetaten, now known as Amarna, located about 300 kilometers south of bustling Cairo. This burial site is no ordinary find. It is linked to the controversial pharaoh Akhenaten, known for transforming Egypt's religious beliefs by focusing on a single sun deity named Aten and relocating the capital to Akhetaten, his desert sanctuary. Akhenaten's religious reforms were later reversed by his son Tutankhamun, and the city of Akhetaten was abandoned soon after Akhenaten's death. The recently discovered jewelry includes 3 rings, one of which features an engraved image of Bes, known as the god of fun. Bes, depicted as a dwarf, was associated with music, mirth, and protecting women during childbirth. While it's unclear who was buried with this jewelry and why, the exploration of ancient Egypt's riches continues to be an intriguing adventure. As Egypt's ancient treasures continue to captivate us, the investigation into these captivating gold artifacts linked to the god of fun unfolds as an ongoing journey of discovery. Number 13. Uncovering 2,000 mummified skull offerings. Over 2,000 mummified rams' heads have been unearthed at an ancient temple in Egypt. These severed skulls were likely prepared as an offering to the Egyptian pharaoh Ramesses II about 1,000 years after his death. This discovery is an astounding archaeological find that illuminates ancient funerary practices and beliefs. The severed heads were found at the Ramesses Temple in Abydos, an ancient city located about 692 kilometers south of Cairo. The temple was constructed in honor of Ramesses II, who ruled between circa 1279 BC and 1213 BC. Although the pharaoh's remains are not housed in this temple, they were discovered more than 150 years ago. Notable features of the temple include pillars adorned with depictions of Osiris, a god renowned for his death and resurrection, and an imposing black stone arch. Some of these skulls, believed to be from rams, were wrapped in bandages and partly preserved, while others are now fleshless. As archaeologists continue to study and analyze these mummified skulls, they aim to unravel the mysteries of this ancient catacomb and gain deeper insights into the lives and beliefs of the people of ancient Egypt. Number 12. Mummy medicine, a bizarre remedy. Now, when we think of medicine, ancient mummies aren't exactly the first thing that comes to mind, right? But back then, the question wasn't should you eat human flesh, but rather, what sort of flesh should you eat? Yes, I know this is just one of the many weird periods in history. Initially, Egyptian mummies were the answer. At the height of Egyptomania, Europeans in the Middle Ages, desperate for the healing properties they believed came from the ancient land, turned to mummies as a source of medicine. This practice was spurred by a linguistic mix-up where mumia, a Persian term for bitumen, was confused with the preserved flesh of mummies. Europeans observed a black resin coating the mummies, which looked similar to bitumen used for medicinal purposes. They assumed that the mummies had healing properties, leading to a trend where mummies were sought not only for their bitumen coating but also for their flesh. The flesh was ground into powder and believed to offer consumers divine protection. In fact, in the ancient world, bitumen was also used for various applications, including embalming by medieval Persian physicians, as a salve for cuts and bruises, and even internal medicine for ulcers and tuberculosis. The demand for this mumia surged in Europe, especially during the Crusades, as soldiers returned home with tales of its extraordinary healing powers. However, as the supply of genuine mummies dwindled, European apothecaries began to get creative, substituting genuine mummies with products made from fresh human meat. Yes, you heard that right, eating fresh flesh became a fad, with many believing that these remains possessed more life-giving properties than the ancient desiccated mummies that had been sitting in tombs for centuries. But as with many peculiar practices of the past, the tide eventually turned. By the 18th century, the use of human meat, mummified or otherwise, as a cure-all began to fall out of fashion in Europe. Mummy parts became a rarer sight on medicine shelves, though the Western obsession with Egypt persisted. I guess this is another reason to be thankful for our advancement in science and medicine. Number 11. Sakara's subterranean bull tomb Enigma. Have a passion for ancient mysteries? Prepare to be astonished by the Serapeum at Sakara. This colossal underground complex houses the tombs of the revered Apis bulls, sacred animals in ancient Egypt associated with the god Ptah, the creator and patron of craftsmen. The Apis bulls were believed to embody Ptah's power and wisdom, serving as oracles and protectors of the pharaoh and the people in the special temple at Memphis, the cult center of Ptah. These bulls received royal treatment and offerings from devoted pilgrims. Upon their deaths, they were mummified and laid to rest in elaborate tombs within the Serapeum, where they were venerated as mediators between humans and the gods. The Serapeum was unearthed in 1850 by French archaeologist Auguste Mariette, who initially came to Egypt in search of Coptic manuscripts. Its discovery ignited international fascination and debate over its purpose and construction. The sheer size and precision of the underground chambers, along with the colossal granite sarcophagi weighing several tons, continue to puzzle archaeologists. The methods used to transport these massive stone sarcophagi remain a mystery. Additionally, the meticulous engineering of the Serapeum tunnels and chambers, with perfectly aligned corridors and precisely fitted sarcophagi, reveals the advanced architectural knowledge of the ancient Egyptians. Despite extensive study, many questions about the Serapeum persist. However, with evolving technologies and methodologies, researchers anticipate gaining a comprehensive understanding of this extraordinary site in the future. Number 10. Pyramids Electromagnetic Enigma Unearthed. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Great Pyramid is its precise alignment with Earth's magnetic north. The pyramid's four sides are nearly perfectly oriented to the cardinal points of the compass, demonstrating an astonishing level of accuracy that suggests an understanding of magnetic forces. Some researchers suggest that the pyramid's limestone blocks may naturally conduct electromagnetic energy, creating a resonance chamber within the structure. Exploring this idea further, scientists are investigating the pyramid's interactions with electromagnetic waves of specific lengths using advanced numerical modeling and analytical methods. These researchers have made a striking discovery. The Great Pyramid can focus electromagnetic energy within its ancient chambers and beneath its massive base. Moreover, the pyramid's unique geometric proportions, including its golden ratio dimensions and encoded mathematical constants, have prompted speculation about its potential as an energy generator or transmitter. Theories range from the pyramid harnessing cosmic energy to ideas proposing it served as a signal for extraterrestrial communication. Although mainstream archaeologists maintain skepticism about these claims, ongoing research and technological advances continue to reveal new insights into the electromagnetic properties of the Great Pyramid. Number 9. Amit, Devourer of Sinful Hearts. Amit is among the gods that archaeologists encountered in ancient Egyptian sites. The goddess is known as the Devourer of Hearts. Amit lived in the Egyptian underworld, Duat, and her role in the afterlife was crucial yet terrifying. She wasn't worshipped like other deities. In fact, Egyptians feared her, for she was the final judge of one's heart and the embodiment of divine retribution. Now, imagine that you passed away and find yourself in the Hall of Mut, where your heart is weighed on a scale against the feather of Mut, the goddess of truth and justice. On one side, your heart symbolizes your soul and all your earthly deeds. On the other, the feather represents truth, harmony, and balance. This ceremony is overseen by Osiris, the lord of the underworld, and a panel of 42 judges. Here's where Amit comes in. She's a terrifying mix of three animals considered the most dangerous to Egyptians: the lion, the hippopotamus, and the crocodile, with a lion's front, a hippo's back, and a crocodile's head. Amit sat ready to pounce at the edge of the scale. If your heart was found to be heavier than the feather, filled with sin and imbalance, it meant you failed the test. Amit would then devour your heart, causing you to cease to exist for eternity. This was the worst possible outcome for the Egyptians, who believed strongly in the afterlife and the soul's eternal journey. Amit's presence served as a moral compass for the ancient Egyptians, reminding them to lead a life of truth, balance, and righteousness. Her image was a powerful symbol of the consequences of failing to uphold Mut's principles. What's bizarre, however, is the fact that there are no temples dedicated to Amit, nor a cult following her. Her representation is found in funerary texts and tombs, serving as a reminder of the afterlife's judgment process. Despite her fearsome role, Amit was also seen as a protector of the universal order by preventing the unworthy from entering the afterlife. Number 8. Lifelike mummy portraits unveiled. Archaeologists have unearthed millennia-old, rare portraits of ancient Egyptians, offering a glimpse into their ancient world. This extraordinary collection of exceptionally rare color portraits was discovered in Egypt, painted on the 2,000-year-old coffins of their owners. The artwork, resembling modern-day paintings, provides a vivid depiction of the affluent Egyptians and Romans who wielded influence in the African region during that era. Mummy portraits are detailed paintings of deceased individuals that were created while they were still alive. Despite their age, these portraits exhibit incredible detail, showcasing the faces of rulers from that time period. Typically painted on wood, these portraits date back to the Greco-Roman period in Egypt, spanning roughly from the 1st century BCE to the 1st century CE. They are renowned for their realism and beauty. In a remarkable feat, researchers used details from these paintings to diagnose neurological diseases, which were later confirmed by examining the corresponding mummies. The portraits were discovered affixed to various coffins, displaying different styles, some in human form and others in the Greek style with gabled roofs. This remarkable find occurred during the 10th excavation season at the site, which commenced in 2016. According to Dr. Abdul Muniam El Sagar, head of the Central Department of Egyptian Antiquities in Central Egypt. Number 7. Pickled fetus unveiled. In 2021, researchers from the Warsaw Mummy Project in Poland released a paper announcing the discovery of the first pregnant mummy, known as the Mysterious Lady. The mummy dates back to the 1st century BC, and strangely enough, she was found in a coffin that supposedly belonged to a male Egyptian priest. Thanks to the marvels of modern science, specifically decomposition and mummification techniques, the fetus inside the mummy was essentially pickled. This term, while a bit unusual, accurately describes the process where the fetus was preserved in a highly acidic environment within its mother's womb. This environment dissolved its bones but kept the soft tissue intact, much like a bog body or a vinegar-soaked egg that retains its internal structure despite the shell dissolving. Well, isn't that spooky? Interestingly, scientists are unsure why the ancient Egyptians chose to leave the fetus inside the mummy while removing other organs, a common practice in mummification. This choice might have been due to the fetus's developmental stage or possibly for religious reasons. Number 6. Lost Temple of Zeus unveiled. Archaeologists have revealed the long-lost Temple of Zeus Cassios nestled within the ancient site of Tel El Ferma in the northwestern Sinai Peninsula. The journey to this extraordinary find stretches back over a century to when French Egyptologist Jean Clédet uncovered engraved blocks hinting at the temple's existence in 1910. A recent Egyptian research team has uncovered the temple's grandeur, with towering red granite blocks and columns standing as majestic sentinels reaching heights of over 20 feet. Among the discoveries are remnants of a splendid lintel that once adorned the entrance gate, along with marble blocks that likely served as steps leading into the temple's inner sanctum. But the temple's tale doesn't conclude with its ancient origins. Inscriptions found at the site reveal a surprising twist. Renovations carried out by the Roman Emperor Hadrian in the early 2nd century AD rejuvenated this ancient sanctuary. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. In the remote sands of Egypt, a team of archaeologists made an astonishing discovery. Led by Dr. Amelia Stone, they unearthed a massive, intricately carved statue resembling a winged bull. As they meticulously cleared the dirt, a hidden compartment was revealed beneath the statue's base. Inside, they found an ancient scroll inscribed with cryptic symbols and a map. The scroll, written in a mix of Greek and hieroglyphics, was a long-lost clue from the reign of Cleopatra VII. Deciphering the text, Dr. Stone and her team realized it detailed the final resting place of Cleopatra herself. The map pointed to a secret burial chamber beneath the Temple of Taposiris Magna, a location previously overlooked by historians. The statue, a guardian to the entrance, was designed to mislead tomb raiders. With this groundbreaking discovery, the team rushed to the temple. As they carefully excavated, they felt the weight of history upon them, knowing they were on the brink of solving one of Egypt's greatest mysteries, the long-lost tomb of Cleopatra. Number 5. Cleopatra's Tomb, Unveiling Subterranean Marvels. A team of archaeologists led by Dr. Kathleen Martinez from the University of Santo Domingo discovered a massive ancient rock tunnel below Queen Cleopatra's tomb. Archaeologists described the tunnel as a geometric miracle. It stretches an impressive 4,300 feet and is carefully carved 42 feet underground near the Temple of Taposiris Magna, located west of Alexandria. The temple, dedicated to Osiris, the Egyptian god of death, adds a mystical significance to the find. Comparisons have been made between this tunnel and Greece's Eupalinos tunnel, noting how they resemble each other, although this one is even longer. Interestingly, part of the tunnel is underwater in the Mediterranean Sea, showing how clever ancient engineers were in dealing with difficult landscapes. Further exploration uncovered a network of tunnels stretching from Lake Mari out to the Mediterranean, revealing a complex underground maze beneath the temple's surroundings. Additionally, 16 burial sites were discovered within rock-carved tombs, echoing the burial traditions of the Greek and Roman eras. During previous excavations at the site, researchers also found important artifacts inside the temple, including coins bearing the images and names of both Queen Cleopatra and Alexander the Great. They said a number of beheaded statues and statues of the goddess Isis were also found. Number 4. Golden-tongued mummies, echoes of antiquity. In a remarkable discovery echoing through ancient Egypt's rich history, archaeologists have found several ancient tombs in the cemetery of Qusna, located about 40 miles north of Cairo, Egypt. Inside these tombs, dating from 300 BCE to 640 CE, mummies were unearthed with gold tongues placed in their mouths. The revelation of these golden-tongued mummies adds an intriguing chapter to Egypt's mummification tradition. While placing amulets on the tongue of the deceased was common, using gold for these artifacts made them symbolically significant. Some mummies had golden chips shaped like human tongues, scarabs, or lotus flowers, although many were poorly preserved. Speculation surrounds the purpose of these golden tongues. Some scholars believe they were meant to ensure the deceased could speak in the afterlife, communicating with gods like Osiris, the ancient Egyptian god of the underworld. Others suggest the tongues served as protection against evil forces in the underworld. Number 3. Falcon Shrine, Horus's maritime sanctuary. Archaeologists in Egypt have unearthed a remarkable Falcon Shrine dating back 1,700 years. This shrine, discovered in Berenike, an ancient Egyptian port on the Red Sea, features the remains of 15 headless falcons displayed on a pedestal. Nearby stands a stone monument depicting two mysterious gods. Berenike, also known as Berenice Troglodytica, was established by Ptolemy II Philadelphus in the 3rd century BC and named after his mother, Berenice I of Egypt. The port city flourished as a trade hub, connecting with East Africa, India, and Arabia, especially for transporting war elephants. The Falcon Shrine is dedicated to Horus, the revered god symbolizing kingship, sky, and protection in ancient Egyptian beliefs. Crafted from sandstone with intricate carvings and hieroglyphics, this shrine holds significant importance in Egyptology. Although the exact purpose of the shrine remains unclear, it likely served as a sacred space where sailors and traders sought protection and blessings from Horus before setting sail across the Red Sea. Excavations at the site may reveal more artifacts and structures related to ancient Egyptian religious practices. Ongoing research and analysis of the shrine and its surroundings will deepen our understanding of ancient Egyptian spirituality and society. Number 2. Dendrite, Ancient Illumination Enigma. The Dendrite, a mysterious relief found in the Hathor Temple at Dendra, Egypt, is carved onto the walls of the temple's crypt. This ancient depiction shows what appears to be a bulb-shaped object connected to a power source, emitting rays of light. It has stirred intrigue and controversy among scholars and scientists alike. Interpretations of the Dendrite have sparked intense debate. Some view it as evidence of advanced lighting technology in ancient Egypt, suggesting it resembles a modern electrical lamp and indicating ancient knowledge of electricity. However, mainstream Egyptologists reject the idea of the Dendrite as an electrical device. They interpret it as a symbolic representation of religious or astronomical concepts. For example, the lamp could symbolize the lotus flower, a motif of rebirth and creation in ancient Egyptian mythology, while the power source may represent the sun god Ra or the goddess Hathor. Scholarly journals and publications have featured studies and articles discussing the Dendrite, presenting various interpretations based on archaeological evidence, iconography, and comparative analysis with other ancient Egyptian reliefs. These publications contribute to the ongoing academic dialogue surrounding the interpretation of ancient Egyptian art and symbolism. Number 1. Protective childbirth tattoos, ancient markings. Lower back tattoos might seem like a trendy idea from the early 2000s, made popular by celebrities in low-cut jeans. However, new findings from Egyptian mummies reveal that this practice is actually over 3,000 years old. Ancient Egyptian women had lower back tattoos, sometimes referred to as stamps, long before they became fashionable in the late 1990s. Archaeologists discovered several mummies on the west bank of the Nile River with ancient markings on their preserved skin. These markings, associated with the god Bes, were believed to protect women and children, especially during childbirth. Researchers think that these women got tattooed to safeguard themselves during labor. The tattoos included symbols such as a bowl representing postnatal rituals, the Eye of Horus for protection and health, and goats for good luck. Figurines found with the mummies also had similar markings in the same places, the lower back and upper thigh. Researchers concluded that these tattoos were connected to depictions of women as partners, pregnant women, midwives, and mothers involved in post-childbirth rituals for protection. When considering other artifacts and texts from the New Kingdom period, these tattoos and their representations would have been visually linked with these important roles and rituals. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.